Yo, what is going on, y'all? We are back with another video. This is actually my first long form YouTube video, so I hope you all enjoy. Let's get to it. Today we are going over Up All Night, which is out now on Subsidia Records. Go check it out if you haven't already. Alright, for the intro, it is pretty basic. Let's start off with this lead. So we're using the melody that I used in the drop. The synth I use is from Arcade. It is Brass Destroyer in the lead pack. Don't really have much on the effect chain, just multiband, some EQing. I use Shaper Box to volume shape it. For this next sound, I also use Arcade. It's under Particles pack. It's called Inherit the Galaxy, and that's what it sounds like. So that one's just pretty basic, and then the second half of it, I just pitch it down 5 semitones. This next sound is just like a harp that's just going back and forth with like some sea breeze in the background. Pretty sure it's also from Arcade, but I think I might have deleted that track, but this is what it sounds like. And I use the same sample to make some glitches, just to give some more texture to that sound. Very cool stuff. I also have a sub, very basic Nero sub, 2 sawtooths, unison all the way up, low cut, around 145, some distortion. Oh, I also added a sub and direct outed it. And then I also used the volume shaper and Shaper Box. This is what you get. As for the effects, we just got a bunch of risers. And then the little vocals you hear in the background is also from Arcade. This is what it sounds like. The effect chain, I have little alter boy, turned up the performance a little bit, turned the drive a little bit up, added an OTT, EQ, fresh air, slight delay, Valhalla reverb. I also have a low and high pass filter. I also have some kicks in the background. And this is what it sounds like all together. Next up, we got the build up. Let's go over the drums first. Same kick as before. It's just there's no more filtering on it. And I also layered a clap. Got a large amount of reverb on that. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the drums. The sub we are keeping the same. It's just we're cutting out early for the pre-drop. Everything else is pretty much the same as the intro. The only thing that's really changed is I'm introducing the bass for my drop. This is what it sounds like. We got a lot of risers. We got some downlifters. The vocals are fully opened up without filtering. Here's what it sounds like. And then in the pre-drop, we have a faller. I use the same risers. The infamous Virtual Riot 1-bar charge. That is a classic. And the whole build up is sidechain, so everything's gonna be pumping. Together it sounds like this. I know y'all didn't come here to see how I made an intro or a build up. Y'all came for that juice. It's time to go over the drop. Using the same kick as the intro and build up, but I'm just saucing it with some saturation and transient shaping. Here's what it sounds like. That boy thick. We got big 7 clap, also very saturated. We got some cymbals. Some slight reverb on that as well. Here's what the drums sound like all together. Next, we got the sub. I'm just using a standard hip hop sub bass. Erosion for some texture. Double amped up, because you know, that's how we do it. This is what it sounds like. Nice. Next, we'll move on to the synths. We got the lead that I introduced slightly in the intro. Effect rack, we just got multiband, kilohertz, distortion, EQing, and shaper box to give it some volume shaping. Next up, these are just for filling out some of the space. And those are both getting volume shaped in shaper box. Next, we got some lasers. It's more so for the transient's sake. And then we're gonna move on to the basses. This is part of the bulk of the drop. This is the chunk. Let's go in to see how we made this sound. So we just have an oscillator A, an analog BD sine. Oscillator B, we just have a sawtooth pitched up 3 octaves. We're using the high notch 12 filter, modulating the frequency, both frequencies. And then for the effects, we just have some hybrid dimension, distortion, phaser, compression, modulating the frequency of the EQ. We also have a reverb filter that is also getting modulated. I'm sharing y'all some future rhythm sauce here, right? Retune. This thing is magic. Slap that bad boy on. This is what it sounds like without it. This is what it sounds like with retune. And then just some multiband, slight EQing. And that is that sound. Under that, we have this sound. That's just adding some grit to the other sound. I'm pretty sure I used the same patch from the main sound and just pitched it down 2 octaves. And then at the end of that phrase, we have this glitch. Second half of the drop is also the same. I think I just changed up the drum pattern and added this glitch. Altogether, it should sound like this. For the second half of the song, I didn't change much. The only thing I changed is the melody. Let's move on to the second drop. This is where things get a little different. I changed the drum pattern. The flow is a little different for the second drop. This is what it sounds like. As for the sub, the flow is different as well. This drop's definitely heavier than the first drop. The lasers are going in 8th notes now. Let's go over the main sound for this drop. I made this patch in phase plant. In the first group, we have a sawtooth, turned it up 24 semitones. The phase is getting modulated by a different wavetable, analog BD sine, and this wavetable is turned up 4 semitones. In lane 1 effects, I have a comb filter that's getting modulated, and it's some distortion, phase distortion, compression, ensemble, slight delay, resonator turned up to F sharp. We got a filter that's getting modulated and some more distortion. As for the effect rack, another retune, compression. We got 2 grain delays. I'm modulating the frequency of each one. First one, I turned down the pitch by 1, and the second one, I turned it up 1 semitone. Don't think that does anything. I think it cancel each other out, but I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. This is what it sounds like. On top of that, we have this sound. This patch is literally the same as the first drop, but I don't think I'm modulating the reverb anymore. I'm just keeping it at a steady frequency. Effect chain, I don't know if that retune is actually doing anything. Multiband, EQ, taking out some of the low mid frequencies. This sounds really cool. I like this sound a lot. Same patch as the main sound, but I just turned the wavetable. I don't know the terminology for phase plant, but this wavetable right here, I turned the harmonics down to 1 and turned off delay and resonator. Pretty much the same effect chain as the main sound. And at the end of that phrase, we have this glitch. The second half of the drop, I wanted a little switch up, so I made a different melody line. This is what it sounds like. Same thing for the other patches. And honestly, we got a little fake out in the beginning. This is what the second drop sounds like altogether. And lastly, I guess we'll go over the master chain. This is the master chain. Free clip, turned up to gain 1 dB. Let's go. Alright, that pretty much wraps up everything. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments if you want more of these type of things. I do want to do more long form YouTube videos, so just let me know. Hit that like and subscribe button. Be sure to follow all my socials. Be sure to listen to the song if you haven't already. It's out now on Subsidia Records. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.